It could be either a really good thing or a really bad thing, but I haven't scripted this video. One Piece is the best-selling manga in history. It has sold over 380 million volumes as of 2015. Without things seeming like a competition, but just for perspective, One Piece has sold 50% more than the sales of Dragon Ball. It was first printed in July 19, 1997, written and illustrated by Eiichiro Oda, and has broken many publishing records for manga. It is one of the most critically acclaimed animes, considering its sizely length of over 700 episodes, rivaled by those underneath it which have a considerably lower amount of episodes, averaging around 60 episodes or lower. The manga is packed full with many unique and exciting things, including devil fruits, including being able to turn into real life or mythical animals, allowing the user to change their body structure into powers of nature, or giving the user the ability to create substances from their own body. With the goal of finding the One Piece, which was announced during the execution of Gol D. Roger, known as the King of Pirates, the anime is packed full of fun and adventure with many different routes and exciting ways for the anime to go. So we have Nami, who wants to charter the entire world. She wants to get a piece of paper like this and write all over it, like we have with planet Earth and the globe. Isn't that amazing? I mean, that basically means that she has to go all over the world. Luffy wants to become king of the pirates, and as we know, that's a very difficult thing with a very overcrowded world of pirates, and he has to find One Piece to do that, basically. So that's going to take a lot of time. Zorro wants to be the greatest swordsman that ever lived, which is very difficult because there are so many swordsmen alive. We have Mihawk, who is one of the Shikibukai, the 7 warlords, and that is such a difficult person to beat because he is so strong and we don't know much about him, but Zorro wants to beat him and he wants to beat every other swordsman that lives. Those 3 people alone, and there are more than 3 people in the crew, have goals that are like massive, just gigantic. The unique geography that One Piece has, with its own scientific and logical rules, despite the fact that One Piece is fiction, so it's made up. Its geography has its own rules, which is kind of cool because not many creators think about the landscapes and the regions and the countries and the weather as much as they do about the characters. But in the case of One Piece, the landscapes and the mountains and the rivers and the seas have so much thought about them, it's unbelievable. Oda has had the ending pictured in his mind since the beginning. That means in 1997, when One Piece was first ever released, that means chapter 1, when chapter 1 was released, he had a really strong idea of how he would end the show. And what's also so weird but amazing is that One Piece was never supposed to be extremely long. It was supposed to be fairly short, and you can see that as a testament to its strength because it hasn't just gone on for the sake of going on. All of the different arcs are so interconnected and they have so much meaning, and the story is developed through such strong linear line. The world is so expansive and there are so many different factions and governments and groups and pirates and towns and cities in the One Piece world that it's kind of hard to believe that One Piece was supposed to be short. And it's possible that all of these things were thought of since the beginning, however the creator Oda just didn't have the money or the funds to make One Piece big, so despite having all of these ideas, it was intended to be short, which is why it's not shocking that it's so big now and it's doing so well while being so large. The progression of the powers in this anime are logical, and that is kind of weird to say because it's hard to think that an anime is logical, but the fact that, and this is kind of not that much of a spoiler, but the fact that Luffy becomes more powerful by expanding what his body can do with the rubber, and he has another power beginning with H and ending with I, that people who know about it, and the fact that that keeps on getting better and better is logical because we see him working on it, and it doesn't just happen by the click of a finger. And we also see Luffy and many other of the crews having so many weaknesses. Like at the beginning, we saw him like completely caved in by this massive rock and he just couldn't move. Or we see him run out of energy and get completely wrecked by the enemies that he's fighting, like the big boss battles. He gets fucked up. He doesn't always win. He isn't the best, you know? He isn't the best person in the world like many other animes have. Or even if he's not the best person in the world, and even if other animes don't make their main characters the best person in the world, they sometimes make it so that the person that the character's fighting is weaker than them, and is always weaker than them, so the main character just keeps on winning and they're so strong that it doesn't matter. And that's not a good thing. We like to see characters have weaknesses, and we like to see them get defeated and then getting back up and prospering and triumphing over the enemy. Yeah? In the underwater arc, which people who have seen it will know what I'm talking about, there are some things that have been set up since episode 20. So when you're watching episode 600, like a massive, like insane amount of things that happen around episode 600 are only happening because of the things that have happened in episode 20. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of crazy level thing I'm talking about. But it's not even just tiny things. It's massive things like characters and movements and political statements. When you think about real life and political movements and political statements that happen, a lot of the time it's usually unexpected. But when you look at the detail, there's always some kind of significant build-up, and that's because 10 years before the historical moment happened, there are these different things that accumulated and created that moment. Not to say that One Piece is the best, because it really is about style. Some people prefer ninjas, some people prefer mages, and some people prefer samurai than they prefer pirates. And that means that they would prefer the other ones more than they would One Piece. But regardless, One Piece has so much effort into each single tiny little detail, and the characters, and the landscapes, and the powers, and the progression, and the political world, that it would be insane for you not to even try. So if you get to episode 50 and you like it, keep on going, because it gets so much better. Go check out my other videos, that's what I can ask you. If you enjoyed it, go check them out, and hopefully have a great time. Go check out my other videos because they're fucking amazing.